not really sure where I'm going with my channel anymore. Seems as though I'm shadow banned. You know? Like it's been about, I'd say, over a year since I got any new subscribers. And the subscribers I do have don't seem to be getting notifications of my videos anyway. It's like a pattern I've noticed. Where roughly 30 people or so watch my stuff. And maybe a couple people watch it a couple times. I mean, there's no new viewers, you know what I mean? It's very much like my content has been locked in a corner. So I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do. I mean, I have a TikTok account. It's at channel__333. That has all my my best sky captures. Like, they're really good. I've only been putting the best stuff up there. Simply because it's, you know, videos like that, I don't have to explain anything, and it could be 60 seconds and it's not a big deal. Yeah, people don't have to know anything about me watching that stuff, right? It's pretty much my YouTube that explains who I am. You know, it's pretty much now that I take a step back, it's been about roughly 3 years that I've been doing this on YouTube, and looking at my entire body of work, it's almost as if, unknowing, I was creating a documentary of the 666 Beast and how he came about. Myself, I'm talking about. Obviously, I don't really have any superpowers yet. I don't have control over the air yet. I haven't received my crown of everlasting life or control over the morning star yet. But I have a feeling that these things are coming, and they are going to be added on to me. And could be crazy. Very good possibility that I'm just crazy. And I just notice a lot of stuff. And I don't forget certain things, and I forget other things, right? It's just, you know, all things could just be random, right? I just randomly have to be born on January 6th like my father, and my mother died randomly on January 6th during the insurrection in America by fire. You know, I just happened to be born on the 6th day of 1984. 6th day like Adam. That's why I look this way, just like Adam, just like Jesus, just like Horus. Yeah. Could all be a coincidence. Could be a coincidence. I'm born on the 6th. My father is 6th. My mother, 3rd day of the 3rd month. My daughter, 2nd day of the 2nd month. You know, my sister, 11th day of the 11th month. All these things could be coincidence. You know, the fact that I can see the other side, just like Elijah could. And I can replicate it very well, right? I can show you exactly what I'm seeing, right? All this could just be coincidence, and I'm just a man, right? One more thing I wanted to bring up, and I'll probably stop talking for a little bit. So in the beginning, right, God was floating over the waters, right? And he separated the waters from the waters, right? At that moment, floating over the face of the water is when God saw his own image. And then that must have been the image that he said when he said, "Let us create Adam in our image." Then he was making Adam, the first man, look just like him, right? So Adam was created without a human father, right? He was the first. So his looks from his father's side are from God, right? So he looks just like God. And then when Jesus was born, okay, he also had no human father. And if it's true about people finding his blood and testing it, then it is 100% true that he had no biological father, because he had no paternal DNA, only maternal, right? So he only had the human DNA of his mother, Mary, right? Now the same goes for Horus, okay? So the story goes that Osiris had sex with his sister, Isis, and Set, his brother, was so upset that he cut him up into 100 pieces or 1,000 pieces, something like this. And then so Isis prayed to Ra, or God, I don't know who they worship at the time there, but she prayed and asked to rebuild and breathe life back into Osiris, right? And so she gathered up all of his pieces, stitched them all up, and breathed life back into him. And all pieces were there except for his penis, right? So she made a golden penis and attached it to his corpse, right? He is depicted as a green being, and that's not because he's dead and gangrene set in because the blood's not moving and that sort of thing. No, he was very much resurrected from the dead, so he was reptilian-like. He's Raphaim. So anyway, so he ends up coming back to life, and he has sex with his sister again, and this time with the golden penis, gets her pregnant. Now, okay, so it's obviously not the same story as Jesus, but it is very similar in that he has no paternal DNA, right? Horus is born without any DNA of his father because the golden phallus did not work in a biological way. It was simply like a dildo, right? Like a marital aid. So he was born through I guess you'd say like the grace of God, right? So he was like part of God, right? God was, depending on what God it is, doesn't, I'm not really sure, but if it is the same creator, then he most likely looked just like Jesus and just like Adam, and most likely just like me, right? And my firstborn daughter, the one I've named with the middle name Lilith, I used magic to consummate her, and I've repented for this use of magic many times. And my point is, she looks just like me too, but a female. Like I assume that as she gets older, she will look kind of like the painting of Mona Lisa, because that's of the same thing. I think we all look the same because we're all God, technically. This is a very important video. Maybe not for you guys, the viewers, but for me and for God. and for Satan to hear me. Long ago, a bunch of things transpired, and the grandmother of my daughters, not from my family, but their mother's family, she's a witch, a psychic, clairvoyant, oracle. She's many things. She's probably the only psychic I've ever met in my life that I actually know is actually real. Right? Like, not a lot of people, that's the thing. Like, it's not just, okay, I know God's real, I know Satan's real, I know all the angels are real, I know the whole story's real, right? I also know that witchcraft is real, and psychic humans are very real, right? So I'm gonna take you back to before the conception of my first daughter. So the psychic told me that there's a lot weighing on my mind, and there has been ever since the day I was born. And eventually, we are going to enter a time where time no longer exists. And I'll know when that time comes, and I'll have to make a decision on what side I'm going to fight on, because from that moment forward I will be fighting on that side forever, for eternity. So when I think about this, and I think about what I've personally been experiencing in the last month, it seems as though time is slowing down to the point even working 6 hours to me is like working 18. That's how I'm perceiving it in my mind. It's really, really draining. And Daniel from the Dreams in the Cosmic Trip channel on YouTube, he's also experiencing time dilation. The way he's explaining it is there are two forces, and I actually thought about this a few weeks ago, that the riddle in the Quran about Dajjal, the destroyer, the deceiver, he's 40, but he's 40 for various allotted amounts of time. So it leads me to believe that the in place of Christ is going to alter time, and I don't know if it's going to be of his own volition, or it's just in his nature that this starts happening as his mind starts growing, right? Because if it is me, if I am the man of 666, then yeah, my mind is expanding. I can't even explain it. So if this is the time and I'm supposed to make a decision, I've made my decision. I've decided to join the ranks of Jesus Christ and his army. So I guess in my heart I've made also this decision long ago, and my mind's only now catching up. I am part of Jehovah's army, and I will fight until there's nothing left of me. I don't know what that means yet, but I can feel it. I can feel that something is coming that is going to change how we view everything, even physics. And everything that is now is not going to matter anymore. That's all I really know. trying really hard to quit smoking marijuana. I understand now why he's saying to be sober-minded in the last days. It's because you have to see it with a clear head, I think. Because seeing it the way I see it, it leaves me obviously believing it, but to a point that it's almost like I'm a raving madman, right? Where it's just like, yeah, there's crazy dragons everywhere, even though there actually is, and it's a very serious thing. I'm not acting as if it is a serious thing because of the mind-altering substance, right? So if I stop doing it entirely, which is extremely difficult for me, like nobody really understands. I understand that everybody knows it's not an addictive drug, but when people use it as a crutch for some things mentally, then it is, right? It becomes everything to fill the cracks. So I'm gonna do my best to stop and see if it's gonna affect me spiritually.